Hi, Earth Angels, and welcome to your Pick a Card reading. Earth Angels, this is a message that is going to look at your mission right now. And my dear beautiful friends, I think a lot of this has to do with protection, protecting the vulnerable, particularly animals. I say this because I was getting ready to do your reading, and all of a sudden my cat would not let up. He was lying across the table. He had his little feet on the cards. He would not let me remove him. He was determined to be here. So I thought maybe I'll try it. I'll start the reading. And I did start recording maybe a minute in, but he started to play with the candles and it's just too dangerous for him. So I think there's a message there about knowing what's best for somebody as well. Someone who is a little more vulnerable, who doesn't understand the full scope of the environment. You may be called in to defend somebody, but I really feel like it is an animal or a child that you're thinking of at this time. I put him outside the room, obviously, because he often will sleep at my feet while I read, but he was right here, and his energy kind of picked up, like he became a little bit anxious as I was getting ready for your reading as well. So there is a message, I think, about protection in animals. Earth Angels, you're here to do work. You're here to do the light working, right? You're here to help people ascend. And you've done the first step by elevating your own consciousness, and now you're here to help others. And sometimes it can be very hard to live as a three-dimensional physical being. And so one of the reasons I've created this particular spread for Earth Angels is to inspire you, to empathize with you, and to give you some clarity. Sometimes if we are in a compassionate state, sometimes it's very hard to think of the joy or the solutions. Sometimes it's easier to become consumed by the more gruesome aspects of this planet, human nature. And so you're here to complete a very important mission. We're going to find out what that is. I think I've spoken enough, but being an Earth Angel, I think of Earth, I also think of animals. And not just the rabbits and the deer and our cute little animal totems that we have on cards and things, but every single animal, every single creature that is on this planet, and how we view them, how they are vulnerable in our systems, and maybe how we can lend our compassion and healing to the animal world. So that is really coming through. I think my kitty really needed to share that with you all. So we're going to move into the cards now. All right, group 1, you're at 315. All right, we've got 315. What do we have? Green calcite here. Visualize. Mercury, the mind. So visualize and mental energy. So your thoughts are very important right now. Thought is energy. Thought becomes material. So I think training your mind to constantly shift your energy away from negative, low vibration. And it's not about being ignorant to that or turning a blind eye, but you're an Earth Angel. You've already recognized that there is a lot of low vibrational stuff on this planet, and it doesn't really help you or your mission to focus on it. What helps you, this looks like labradorite, wow. What helps you focus on your mission is training your mind, right? Keeping a handle on the task at hand. So the training of your mind, your mental energy, your thoughts, I want you to visualize the world that you want to see. Think about the world you want to see, and then put that into a reality. The tarot card is 5 of Cups. So that, again, is all about your mental energy, because right now you are probably focusing on the negative, right? We're worried about the environment, we're worried about the state of humanity, and I mean, anything really. There's so much that we could focus on that was lost, and even our ways of navigating, maybe how we used to relate to clients or how we used to do our work in the world has changed. You know, the pandemic brought a lot of restrictions, and for a while maybe you were focusing on what was lost. It almost feels like the passion has soured. Your joy for something has soured because it feels like every time you make a step, there's a negative reaction in the opposite direction. But I saw a beautiful saying the other day. My friend had posted it. It was a quotation saying that all activism comes from heartache. You have to be heartbroken by the world around you in order to want to change it. So sure, you can see what's been spilled, you can see the toxic, the negative, but I think also focusing on your purpose, remembering your mission, and then helping others shift their focus from what is lost to what still remains. I think too, because we have a lot of mental energy here, my friends, you're being invited to keep your spaces tidy, keep your spaces clear. We do have Year of the Ox approaching the Chinese zodiac, so maybe look up Feng Shui for Year of the Ox. Feng Shui is very important to creating flow in a space. If you're not into Feng Shui, you don't have to redecorate your home, but there is a need to tidy up your living spaces, your work spaces, so that you can have clarity of mind. Because when you let things pile up, there's an energy of dread that gets attached to that pile of debris or that closet that we never enter because it's full of stuff, right? We open it, everything's going to fall out. All our old brooms and hats. Who knows how many cats are in there? Just kidding. So keep your space tidy. Some of you are feeling a little bit stagnant. You need mental stimulation, so maybe reading about like a biography or like watching a biopic on someone who was very aligned with the work that you are here to do so that you can stop feeling sorry for yourself and get back to action, my love. There is a bit of stagnancy, so just clear the energy, clean the room, clean your workspace, keep it tidy, simplify wherever you can, and you'll have clarity. Thank you for allowing me to read your cards, Group 1. Group 2, we have 820. Hello, Group 2. 820. All right, Earth Angels who've chosen Amethyst, let's see what we've got. For some reason, I just wanted to tell you a story about this Amethyst. I think this group, I'm also smelling, yeah, it's an earthy, it's like a patchouli type, like a bath bomb type smell. I think that a lot of you who've chosen Group 2, you are an Earth Angel in the true sense of the word. You are concerned about the environment. You're worried about the world that we're living in. And you're concerned about the sustainability of resources, as many of us are. And I think you're almost even looking at this stuff, like the cards, the rocks. Do we have space for this in this new world? Can we still be mining these, the parts of the world in a seemingly infinite cavern? Can we still go into those spaces? And do we have the right? So, because I wanted to tell you about this amethyst, which is a beautiful, hefty chunk of amethyst that I received from my neighbor when I was 9 years old. She was 8, I was 9. And she gave me this beautiful piece of amethyst, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. I really have. I love it. So she has since passed away, but she's here with me now. maybe how you source things is something, or how people are sourcing things that seems to be on your mind. You can get all this stuff at like antique shops. I got this at an antique shop. I've been gifted many things. I don't know why. It's almost, maybe there's almost a bit of judgment too, where I'm feeling like I have to almost, no, it's okay, I'm on your side type thing. Let's see what the cards say, Earth Angels. Your mission, oh, divine animals. I knew this card would come out because the animal thing. Beautiful, I felt that strongly. Divine animals. Virgo energy, I analyze. So yeah, a lot of you are thinking about where the boundaries lie. What do we have the right to have, to take? And what do we not have the right to explore or take? Your mission right now is to call in the energy of divine animals, allow them to appear to you as they will. They have something to share with you. They've got guidance, they've got messages. There could be a certain animal who experiences a specific plight in this world and you really want to help them. Maybe you're working with a lion sanctuary. Maybe you want to do a chicken save. Maybe you need the divine guidance of a snake in your dreams to show you the art of transcendence. So you're working with animals, and now's the time for you to go into your analytical mind and really clearly think about what they're trying to tell you. Virgo energy is also about the 6th house. It's the little details of everyday life that make up the whole. So there's choices that we're making every day that tell the greater story of our spiritual wellness. Details and choices we make every day that describe and make up our health at the end of the month. It's all these little things, how we spend our money, how we honor, where we say yes and where we say no, where we draw the line or where we make exceptions. That's really coming through. Virgos are very good at noticing details as well. You could go to somebody's house and see a detail in maybe their dog, their behavior, or something. Like you may notice, you may actually have an ability to, in your humble service to the world, maybe being a veterinarian or a caregiver to animals is something you're considering. Your tarot card is the 9 of Cups. I feel like you're pulling something off. This is wish fulfillment. And to me, this is speaking about the ideal world that you want to create, that you want to live in. Visualize it. Analyze everything. Figure out how to get there. So start with the goal and then work your way backwards to where you are now. And you'll be able to figure out how to take those steps. I think that when you look closer to, you'll find that you do constantly have divine guidance. I think your animals are with you at all times. And that brings one a very beautiful feeling of synchronicity. There's something that you've been hoping for, working toward, campaigning for perhaps for a very long time. And you're going to see that you're going to start to see those changes take effect. And there's overall a very strong feeling of fulfillment and happiness and pride with what has been accomplished. This also speaks of doing work behind the scenes. 9 of Cups is about what's behind the scenes, and so is Virgo energy. So I don't really see you being in the spotlight. I see you being more of a communicator, maybe someone who writes letters, someone who petitions or you're reaching out to people through correspondence, but maybe not doing like physical work in the world. You're doing more of the mental work. And that's really where a lot of the changes take place, is in the administration, right? The paperwork, the letters, the bills, etc. So you're kind of taking a behind the scenes role. And lastly, those of you who've chosen pile 3, 1533. Hello, pile 3. We've got Celestite. Let's see what the cards say. So Earth Angels, nothing has gone wrong. I think a lot of you are being very hard on yourself because you want to see more tangible, quantifiable proof that you've done a good job, that you've effected change. You also have the Queen of Wands. So we're really talking about things that are physical, on the surface proof. And it's very hard to have quantifiable proof based on what is seen, especially today, because, I mean, water has just been added to the stock market for the first time. And you know, we've got these concerns, and when something like that happens, it's like, oh my gosh, I failed. I haven't been an Earth Angel. I haven't affected change. But nothing has gone wrong. You've got this Saturn return energy. I don't know if you are going through your Saturn return. If you are, you'll be either 28, 29 years old, 30, or 56 to 58. Basically, is Saturn in the planet it was in when you were born? If it is, you're going through your Saturn return. If not, you don't even have an excuse for being so hard on yourself, friend. Typically, people are only that hard on themselves going through this transit, which happens every 28 years. Like, there's a question of time. There's a question of, have I used my time effectively? Do we have enough time left? Saturn puts pressure on us to get to work, and it really makes us think critically about how much time we have. And this, again, this Queen of Wands really wants to see results. She wants to see things on the table. She's a fire sign. She likes things to be illuminated, open, on the table, clear as day, visible. She looks at her empire and she wants to see smiling, happy people, happy animals, happy earth. And when she doesn't really see that around her, she thinks that she has failed in her mission. Because she is such a radiant, sunny energy that she expects when she touches something for it to reflect that light back to her. And so what you've put out into the world is not yet being reflected back to you. I feel like it's in a process, and it's something that's going to take time. You have made the effort to evolve. You've made the effort to transcend. You see the world differently. You want to make it a better place. And you are. You've already taken the first step by bettering yourself, educating yourself. And you serve as an example to others. You don't have to have confrontational arguments or, you know, to get your point across. Like, this is just reassuring you that you're really expecting more than is realistic right now. These things take time. Changes take time. I feel that a lot of you, like I said when I came into the reading, are concerned today about maybe animals or the future of the planet itself. And, you know, when we think of angels, we always think of them as helping people. But for some reason, it's just really coming through today that a lot of you are concerned with the earth and with the animals. And I mean, they've been talking about changes to the climate since the 80s, and we're only just starting to take it seriously. I mean, they did the Kyoto Protocol in 97, but the ozone hole was found in the 80s when Jupiter was in Aquarius not last, but 30 years ago. And so you're like looking at this time that has passed and you're just putting all this pressure on like, oh no, why hasn't anything happened? It has. But we're talking about the evolution of an entire species. We're talking about human consciousness. We're talking about people. We're talking about three-dimensional beings that like three-dimensional stuff and have been told their whole lives that they need three-dimensional stuff. And so what you're doing by leading by example, first of all, is just acknowledging that there's other viewpoints, acknowledging that this is how I see the world. Hopefully I've given you something to think about. And it's not just this is the lens I see the world through. There's truth here. So be reassured, nothing has gone wrong. You've been learning some lessons. Also, if you feel like no one has heard your message or is paying attention, I think there's just also been some critical lessons about how you get your message across, how you do your work in the world. And the Queen of Wands leads by example. She is sovereign, she's regal, she's radiant, she's healthy and happy. And it is her being the Queen of Wands that makes people want to have a piece of what she's having. So you have to exercise sovereignty. You don't always have to be trying to open people's minds or changing their views or anything like that, but to just live by example as a healthy, radiant citizen, full of joy and full of a vital life force. People will want to know how you make that work. I would love to tell you all about my lifestyle. So come on in. Also, the Queen of Wands has a particular communication style that is not, like here we have the Five of Cups in group 1. So the Five of Cups was like, oh, pity, oh, the world is so sad, oh, empathy, and I'm broken down and sad all the time. That doesn't really inspire people to join your cause, right? The Queen of Wands, though, is happy, inspired, and outgoing, and that is kind of what people respond to. They respond to joy. You know, you're sitting over there happily eating your, I don't know, your salad or something that you grew yourself in your own backyard, and you look so happy and regal doing it that they just want to emulate that energy. It's not so much the cause, it's the person who represents the cause. And like that's difficult, but that, you know, being an earth angel is a difficult thing to reconcile. It can be difficult being a three-dimensional being. So be sovereign, speak with authority, but also with great joy. I see the intelligence in the trees and I see the intelligence in the squirrels. You know, you have to speak that language and talk about the joy that those things bring you. And that's really what will get people to listen. Okay, my dear friends, that's been your reading. Earth Angels, that's your mission for the next little while. I'll come back very soon and speak with you. I'm sending you all so much love. Bye.